When I first started spending time with people in hospice care, I expected tears. I expected big confessions. I thought the final year of life would be loud with emotion. But what I found was something different, a quiet kind of honesty. Not dramatic, not poetic, just whispers of truth from people who no longer had anything to prove. They didn't talk about the things they bought. They didn't brag about achievements. They reflected, often with long pauses and deep sighs, on what they wished they had done differently. And as someone now living life after 70, I've carried those reflections with me. Because these aren't regrets shouted into the world. They're the quiet, unspoken kind, the ones that sit in your chest long after the clock runs out. If you're over 70, or if you love someone who is, maybe these will sound familiar. Maybe they'll even save you from carrying the same weight. When I first started spending time with people in hospice care, I expected tears. I expected big confessions. I thought the final year of life would be loud with emotion. But what I found was something different, a quiet kind of honesty. Not dramatic, not poetic, just whispers of truth from people who no longer had anything to prove. They didn't talk about the things they bought. They didn't brag about achievements. They reflected, often with long pauses and deep sighs, on what they wished they had done differently. And as someone now living life after 70, I've carried those reflections with me. Because these aren't regrets shouted into the world. They're the quiet, unspoken kind, the ones that sit in your chest long after the clock runs out. If you're over 70, or if you love someone who is, maybe these will sound familiar. Maybe they'll even save you from carrying the same weight. 2. I wish I had told the truth about how I felt. Many older adults regret the ways they hid themselves emotionally. They said I'm fine when they weren't. They kept the peace instead of speaking the truth. They held back forgiveness or withheld love. Maria, a 91-year-old retired nurse, told me, I spent years pretending I wasn't hurt, but deep down I just wanted someone to ask me again. Life after 70 is not the time to keep secrets from yourself or others. Speak, share, say the hard things, because silence doesn't protect us, it isolates us. A 2020 study in the Journal of Aging and Mental Health found that emotional suppression increases loneliness and accelerates cognitive decline in older adults. 3. I wish I had let myself be closer to the people who loved me. This one is quiet, sneaky, and devastating. So many elders I've met told me they pulled away from family, not out of anger, but out of pride or fear. They didn't want to burden anyone, so they said no to visits, declined help, and quietly built a wall. Gerald, 79, put it best. My son kept offering to come visit. I said, don't bother, I'm fine. And now that I'm here, I'd give anything to sit with him in silence for just 1 hour. Don't let your independence turn into isolation. If someone loves you, let them. Say yes more often. Be near. Be seen. If you've been holding people at arm's length, leave a comment that says, I'm ready. Let's start closing the gap. 4. I wish I hadn't worried so much about what others thought. One man I met was 87. He'd lived through 2 wars, raised 4 kids, and built a successful business. But what he regretted most? Too many decisions I made because I was afraid of looking foolish. That hit me hard. How many dreams do we cancel just because we're afraid of judgment? How many hobbies do we skip because we think we're too old to start now? But the truth is, after 70, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. A 2021 report from the AARP showed that older adults who pursued creative or social hobbies, even those considered unusual for their age, reported significantly higher life satisfaction and lower rates of depression. You want to sing again? Paint? Learn to play chess? Do it. Not because someone approves, but because you're still here. And that's reason enough. 5. I wish I had made more room for joy. So many people near the end told me they spent decades being serious, focused, responsible, and in doing so, they forgot to make space for joy, laughter, play. There's one woman I'll never forget. Her name was Judith. She was 94 and nearly blind, but she had the brightest smile. I started dancing again at 90, she said. By then, I realized no one was watching. That's the secret. Joy isn't a reward for doing everything right. It's a daily choice, especially after 70. Play with your grandkids. Watch something silly. Make a mess. Laugh at your own jokes. Joy doesn't age, and neither should you. If something brought you joy this week, even something small, share it in the comments. Let's fill this space with the things that make life worth living. 6. I wish I had forgiven more freely. This was the most repeated regret I heard, and the hardest to talk about. Forgiveness is heavy, especially after a long life. We carry old wounds, betrayals, disappointments, and sometimes we hold them tightly, thinking they protect us. But near the end, many people told me it wasn't the pain that hurt. It was the weight of never letting it go. Thomas, 86, hadn't spoken to his brother in 27 years. By the time I was ready, he whispered, he was already gone. A study by the University of Michigan found that older adults who practice active forgiveness show significantly better emotional health, fewer physical symptoms, and stronger social connection. Forgiveness isn't approval, it's freedom, and it's never too late to choose it. If there's someone you need to forgive, write their initials in the comments. You don't need to explain, just start. Just open the door. These regrets weren't shouted, they were whispered, but I heard them. And now I'm sharing them with you, not to scare you, but to free you. Life after 70 isn't over, it's just quieter. But in that quiet, you still get to choose. Choose courage, choose truth, choose connection, choose joy, choose freedom. And if this message reached something deep inside you, don't leave in silence. Comment, subscribe, share it with someone who still has time to choose differently. We all carry regrets, but we don't have to carry them forever.